All right, everybody, welcome to the world according to Jason. Got my Las Vegas hat on. So once again, we're going to, as I told you before, we're going to go through these last couple chapters of this book, so then we can jump into some shit that's going to get me hated. Not that y'all don't hate me anyway, right? Hey, haters are still fucking lovers, just different form, right? It is what it is. So I think I really want to go over this one, the most funny fucking story that ever happened in my life. It happened to me, sadly, but it was some funny shit. But I'm going to do that one next. I'm going to do, actually, right now, I'm going to go over one. It's chapter 17 in the book called The Squirter. And it was like this, it was this weird little fucking girl, right? She came in, she was like, kind of like, just nerdy. Like, like she was the cute chick you'd see at the library. We're like, God damn, she's kind of cute, a little nerd action, whatever. It was just like total, like, oh, little tiny voice, kind of nerdy, kind of prissy, kind of Christiany even. Well, she comes in the store, her and her old man, and he was like goofy as all fuck, but you can tell he was insanely jealous at the same time. And she's like, I really want to get my hood pierced. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we go over the jewelry, everything like that, as always, and we get everything going. And she's all like this. She tells her dude, you need to wait outside. You need to go sit down on a couch and blah, 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 blah. Because she didn't want him to get, she said she would be embarrassed to have another man, have him see another man touch her. I'm like, all right, whatever, floats your fucking boats, I guess I can get that, it is what it is. I don't judge people's, like, their insecurities, etc. So I get her in the back, and I go over everything. I'm sitting on my tray, and I'm like, okay, cool, and I get her up on the table, and then I go and I get ready to clean, because clean work clean. And then she's like, hey, I gotta ask you something. I'm like, yeah, what's up? She's like, do I have a pretty pussy? I was like, well, I looked. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'll be real with you. I've seen countless, especially in the industry so long that yeah, attractive vagina. Your vagina looks nice. It's not like it's all funky or anything. She's all super happy. So she's like, oh, cool, cool, cool. And then I'm getting a cleaner, and she's like, oh, I'm like, oh God, what the fuck? And she's like, I gotta tell you something. I'm like, what? She goes, you're the second man who's not only seen my vagina, you're the second man who's ever touched my vagina. Well, I said, well, I'm touching it with a Q-tip, and then later I'm gonna be touching it with a needle, so I don't think it's the same thing. And then she was like, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I said, but, don't worry, I'm not gonna fucking perv on you or anything like that. I'm not, that's not my style. So I go and I get everything ready, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm cleaning her up. And this girl's like, oh. And she's like, oh, God, yes. And I'm like, what the fuck? And this bitch starts fucking coming. I'm like, oh, God. I don't even want to deal with this shit. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. This is uncomfortable for me. I'm like, fuck, what the fuck? What do you do? I'm just like, okay, cool. So I start cleaning her up again. Same thing. I'm like, what the fuck do I do? So I'm like, all right, cool. And I clean her up, and I'm like, all right, cool, fuck this. I'm just getting this piercing done. So I put my receiving tube down, I run my needle down into my receiving tube. This girl, and I obviously take my taper so I can run it back up. This girl, she's like, oh, fucking squirts. Squirts. Now, I'd seen it before. No, no. Pop the collar type shite right now. Of course, I'd seen it before, but not like this. When I was a kid, my dad had this porno movie that we used to sneak and we'd watch, me and my friends and shit like that, called Uncle Perky. And in Uncle Perky, this is fucked up. They put this fucking tube up this girl's ass, and they give her like an enema, and she sits down and she fucking squirts, and this and shit flies clear across the room. And granted, in Uncle Perky, it shoots like 10 feet across the room. Well, when this girl squirted, it squirted like straight out. I mean, I didn't fly 10 feet, but there ain't 10 feet in the damn room. It's only 100 square foot. Fucking on my damn shirt. And I'm like, what the fuck? This bitch just fucking squirted on my shirt. But I'm like, I'm a professional. So I quick ran the jewelry and shit. This girl's like, and she's like, oh my God, I've never had an orgasm like that in my life. And I'm like, uh, so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. And that, hey, pop the collar, this is Big Daddy J Dog. So, of course, my mere presence usually is enough to get a girl a little juicy down now. But this one squirted all over my shirt. And all I did was put a fucking needle in her. Uncomfortable. But I roughed through it. I made sure that I got the piercing done, cleaned her all up, gave her instructions. Sometimes I'm foolish. My number is on every one of my sheets that I've ever handed out. Every care sheet I've ever handed out has my phone number on it. And I always say, hey, you can text me if you have any questions, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I got a lot of texts from that girl after that. She was all like, I got a husband, but don't worry about it, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, yeah, don't worry. Well, I have a girl. Yeah, I didn't at the time, but I still told her I did because you know what? That shit was like some, I don't know, single white female type probably shit gonna turn out on that. Some sort of craziness. I could see crazy in it. I just didn't want to have to be in it, if you dig. So that was the story of the squirter. Probably not as exciting as it could have been. Maybe thinking back, but hey, how many times have you ran a fucking needle through a girl's hood and then fucking she squirts fucking water hose fucking pussy juice all over you? Or I guess orgasmic juice, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what the fuck it. I've always kind of wondered what it really is. I mean, is it orgasm? Is it like cum? A girl cum? Is it fucking piss? Is it a mix of the two? This shoots pretty far. I mean, I don't know. I should probably look that shit up. Maybe you should too. But either way, that is Squirter from the book. The book. You Think You Want My Job, 20 years in the body piercing industry. A long fucking time. So, either way, once again, I'd like to thank you for all tuning in. I'd like to thank you for listening. And we're going to do one more story, which is fucking funny. It's the last story of the book. And I'm going to do that one. And then we will be starting on the other book. The book. Once we get into that one, you're going to hate me. But it's okay. You'll still love me. So, as they say in Canada, the mortal enemy of America. Dirty, dirty Canadians. Hey, if you're in Canada and you're watching this, and I'm in love for you, it ain't your fault. I'll leave it at that. So, as they say in Canada, peace out, eh? And as I always say from my lovely adopted hometown, Las Vegas, Nevada, deuces, and I wish you all well. Hopefully your day is better than you deserve.